Shalom Chaverim, greetings beloved friends. Day 3 of quarantine, and we're in a strange space. Physically a strange space to be in this apartment, in this flat. We're sitting shiva, just our family, because nobody can visit. And a strange space spiritually, because at a time that the world is in crisis and we are too, instinctively we want to do what we naturally would do, which is to pull together with our family, our friends, our community, the people that we love, to support each other. And yet we're being told by our leaders that we need to socially distance ourselves, that instead of drawing close, we actually need to separate, that for the sake of pikuach nefesh, for saving lives, we cannot be together at this time. So how do we cope? How do we cope with the cancelled flights and cancelled weddings, and the world seems to be cancelled right now? How do we cope with not knowing what the future will be and when things will be normal again? And the greatest fear, which is how do we know who of us will get sick and of those who will get better? And this leaves us anxious. It leaves us in a place of fear. And what tools do we have? So I want to share one from this week's Torah portion, Vayakhel-pekudei, the double portion that closes off the book of Shmot, of Exodus, the chronicles of the children of Israel as they begin in slavery in Egypt, 10 plagues and leaving to stand at Mount Sinai. And then for the second half of the book, the description of the building of sacred space, the Mishkan, which will be the connecting place for the children of Israel with God as they wander through the desert for 40 years. As we are wandering through this midbar, this wilderness of not knowing, step by step in uncharted territory. So the beginning of the parasha sees Moshe, Vayakhel Moshe et kol adat b'nei Israel, that Moses calls together, convokes the community of the Jewish people to tell them about the construction of the Mishkan, and that each person, or at least each person whose heart moved them, kol nadiv livo yavieha et truma, that each person whose heart moved them would bring their donation, their gift, for the building of this Mishkan. And there lies the key to not just survive, but to thrive through this crisis. What is the gift, and whose heart is moving them? We have been so blessed in these days of quarantine, despite being cut off physically from the world, with angels who have connected with us through social media, but also by ringing the bell and dropping off their little truma, their little offerings, to help us through this difficult time. What is your truma, and how is your heart moving you to give to your community, to those around us that we know and don't know who are needing? Some of us that are not in quarantine are driving around and helping those who are, helping those who are vulnerable or not well. And those of us who are inside are reaching out through social media, sharing the gifts of our hearts in other ways to bring comfort and support in a time of fear and crisis. The opening words, Vayakhel Moshe, when Moses calls together this gathering, is the same root as Kehillah, as community. Community is where we are called to be together. And this is the key in this time, is that even though we are physically, socially distant, we can use this as an opportunity to be even more close together than we were before. Because in our normal lives, we can be so busy that we have the potential physically to see somebody every day and yet still be socially distant from them. So the blessing of this week and this parsha is to call on us to move our hearts, to open our hearts more, to bring our truma, to bring our gifts to those around us. Because there has never been a time that we've needed this more than now. People are describing this as a war, but the enemy is not the coronavirus. The enemy is fear. The enemy is fear and apathy. And the tools that we have in this war are our hearts, as we use them to reach out across this divide that is going to be created over the next days and weeks. So I want to bless us all, that we will think deeply about what it is that we can give, but that we will also have the courage to be able to ask for what we need, because it is only in this way that we will be able to create the community that we would like to be part of, and that will enable us not just to survive but actually to thrive as we make our way through these unprecedented times. I want to finish with a blessing from our Siddur that we have created, Sefer Refuah, the Book of Healing, and this is a blessing which is a meditation on healing by Rabbi Naomi Levy. When I panic, God, teach me patience. When I fear, teach me faith. When I doubt myself, teach me hope. When I lose perspective, show me the way. Back to love, back to life, back to you. May it be a blessed week. May we all have the opportunity to give and receive. And may it be a Shabbat Shalom.